Medellín, the devil's playground, the air hung heavy, thick with humidity and the stench of fear. Medellín, Colombia, in the 1980s. Not just a city, but a powder keg, a place where beauty and brutality danced a macabre tango. Towering over it all, the Andes Mountains stood witness to the chaos unfolding below. This was Pablo Escobar's domain, a kingdom built on cocaine, corruption, and unimaginable violence. The streets whispered his name, a name synonymous with power and terror. This is the story of the rise and fall of the king of cocaine. The streets, a labyrinth of poverty and desperation, became breeding grounds for Escobar's empire. Young men, seduced by the allure of quick money and power, flocked to his banner. They became his soldiers, his sicarios, their loyalty bought with blood money and blind faith. The scent of danger permeated every corner, the echo of gunshots, a grim soundtrack to life in Medellín. This was a city held hostage by its own prosperity, a prosperity built on the white powder that flowed like a river through its veins. Pablo Escobar. Born into poverty, he clawed his way out through sheer ambition and ruthlessness. From petty street crimes, he graduated to car theft, his sights always set on a bigger prize. The cocaine trade, exploding in the 1970s, proved to be his calling. He saw an opportunity, a chance to seize control, to become a king in a kingdom built on white gold. And seize it he did. Escobar possessed a cunning mind, a natural charisma that drew people to him. He was a master manipulator, able to charm and threaten in the same breath. He understood the power of loyalty, rewarding it lavishly, punishing betrayal with swift and brutal efficiency. He built a network of farmers, chemists, smugglers, and assassins, all working in unison to feed the insatiable appetite for cocaine in the United States. The cocaine flowed north and the money flowed back, transforming Escobar from a street hustler into a force of nature. He amassed a fortune, his wealth surpassing comprehension. Mansions, cars, planes, women. He acquired them all with an insatiable hunger. His legend grew with each shipment, each successful bribe, each act of violence that solidified his grip on power. He became a folk hero to some, a Robin Hood figure who provided for the poor while defying a corrupt government. He built schools, hospitals, and housing projects, earning the loyalty of the people he claimed to champion. But beneath the veneer of philanthropy lurked a heart of darkness. Those who dared to oppose him, who threatened his empire, met with swift and brutal ends. Escobar's influence extended far beyond the streets of Medellín. He infiltrated the government, the police, the courts. Politicians and judges danced to his tune, their silence bought with silver or enforced with lead. He became a phantom, a whisper in the corridors of power, his presence felt even when unseen. He declared war on the Colombian government, unleashing a wave of terror that shook the nation to its core. Bombs exploded in city centers. Judges and journalists were assassinated. Politicians lived in fear. Escobar's message was clear. He was above the law, untouchable, the true ruler of Colombia. Section 5. Blood on the streets, fear in the air. The streets of Medellín ran red with the blood of Escobar's enemies, real or imagined. His sicarios, young men desensitized to violence, carried out his orders with ruthless efficiency. Car bombs, assassinations, kidnappings, terror became a tool, a weapon wielded with chilling precision to maintain his grip on power. The body count rose, a grim testament to Escobar's ruthlessness. Innocent people caught in the crossfire, their lives extinguished in a hail of bullets. The fear was palpable, a suffocating blanket that smothered the city. Parents kept their children indoors, whispers replaced conversations, and the stench of death lingered in the air. The world watched in horror as Escobar's reign of terror unfolded. The United States, flooded with his cocaine, declared war on his empire. The DEA, the Colombian National Police, they all joined the hunt for the elusive kingpin. But Escobar was always one step ahead, his network of informants and spies keeping him informed of every move. He became a ghost, moving from one safe house to another, always surrounded by a phalanx of loyal followers willing to die for him. He was a master of evasion, disappearing into the jungle, his wealth and influence buying him protection and silence. The authorities seemed powerless to stop him, their efforts frustrated at every turn. But even a king can be cornered. The relentless pressure from the authorities, the constant fear of betrayal, it began to take its toll. Escobar, once seemingly invincible, grew increasingly paranoid and desperate. His empire, built on violence and fear, began to crumble. He made mistakes, miscalculations that would prove fatal. His enemies, emboldened by his vulnerability, closed in. The noose tightened, the walls closing in on the kingpin who once seemed untouchable. His world, once vast and powerful, shrunk to the confines of a single room, a king in his crumbling castle. On December 2nd, 1993, Pablo Escobar was shot and killed on a rooftop in Medellín. The news of his death sent shockwaves through Colombia and the world. The reign of the king of cocaine was over, but the scars he left on Colombia ran deep. Escobar's legacy is a complex and contradictory one. To some, he remains a folk hero, a symbol of resistance against a corrupt system. To others, he is a monster, a ruthless killer responsible for the deaths of thousands. But one thing is certain, his impact on Colombia, for better or worse, is undeniable. Colombia, in the aftermath of Escobar's reign, faced the daunting task of rebuilding. The cocaine trade, though weakened, continued to cast a long shadow. The violence, while diminished, still flared up in pockets. But amidst the ruins, there were also signs of hope. The Colombian government, with the support of the international community, launched ambitious programs to combat drug trafficking and promote peace. Slowly, painfully, Colombia began to heal. Cities like Medellín, once synonymous with violence and fear, underwent remarkable transformations. New industries emerged, tourism flourished, and a sense of optimism began to replace the despair of the Escobar era.